Hello and welcome. My name is Eileen Head, Live Your Best Life and Relationship Coach. I'm super excited that you're here. I have lots of information that I'm going to give you on how to attract your ideal match. So I'm going to get my PowerPoint going. Okay, here we go. So welcome again. I'm super excited that you're here. This is no boring black and white presentation. I like to use lots of visuals to keep you engaged, and we really engaged more with pictures in our minds. So I've given you lots of pictures. This is a new presentation for me, so we're reading lots of the information. I don't want to miss giving you any of the insights in this short period of time. I'm going to be using stereotype male females, although I coach everyone because everyone truly is wanting to live their best life and attract their ideal partner. So my goal is to open your perception about yourself and how to become relationship ready. And thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedules so that you can create a strategy to attract your ideal partner. It really is about consciousness and awareness and a strategy. And you obviously care to do what it takes to attract love. So I acknowledge yourself for being here. People unknowingly sabotage their dating prospects through various behavioral patterns and mindsets. And today we're going to be talking about some of those secrets of attracting the love of your life. Here's what I'm going to share with you in this mini training. Part one, we're going to talk about the emotional baggage holding you back from attracting a loving, and healthy relationship. And part two, we're going to discover your Enneagram superpower and identify the most compatible personality matches. Understand which personality types naturally complement yours for deeper, more harmonious relationships, and which of those personalities that you generally struggle with more. Part three, we're going to create a more conscious dating strategy to develop inner confidence and self-awareness that naturally draws your ideal partner to you through authentic alignment. And I hope you stay till the end. I've got a really cool gift for you for being on this mini course. I'm going to give you as much information as I can so that you become relationship ready. I'm going to show you that by overcoming your sabotaging patterns and gaining confidence in what personality traits make you a great partner, you can attract the person who is a more compatible fit for you. You already have relationships that are much easier, where you're much more compatible. And there's those you struggle with. Why is that? It's personality dynamics. It's personality differences in values and how you view the world. This will give you confidence. And let me tell you, confidence is really attractive. I'm going to share with you how to create a mindset to stay on a positive frequency vibration of attraction. And by shifting your energy and focus, you can take your power back to create your life and the love you desire. You're here because you've been struggling and because you have been unsuccessful in attracting your ideal partner. And you want that solid, reliable, trustworthy partner that you can build a loving, healthy relationship and life with. Isn't that what we all want? So imagine having that partner who really gets you, puts you first, and you enjoy having fun together. Imagine having a partner who loves you, even your insecure and quirky parts. And imagine creating a vision to clear obstacles so you can attract an amazing, healthy, love-filled relationship. And I will guarantee you that if you delve deep into your personality and your traits, the challenges, and all of the information the Enneagram has for you, it will give you more information than you can imagine to share with a partner so you can grow together and become more compatible. And based on scientific data, which personalities, I should have that, you are most compatible with, because we can be compatible with all other 8 personalities, including, well, 9, including your same personality. but it also depends on the level of growth and your personalities, energy, and values meshing together. I have seen my clients struggle with disappointment and hopelessness about the dating process. Have you experienced dating fatigue? Online dating is frustrating, being one of multiple prospects, conversations started and then ghosted. Or when meeting profiles and the person don't match up, being told that you're not a match, it all can feel like rejection and hard on your self-esteem. Like so many others, you may have thought you needed to wait for someone to select you. No. Well, I'm going to show you how to take your power back and you decide who is a good fit for you. So where are you at? You might still be hurting from past relationships, struggling to figure out what happened. Why didn't it work out? You might be transitioning through a messy divorce, angry and hurting, blaming your past partners, or most damaging, blaming yourself, playing the only if only game. If only I'd done that, if only I'd said that, if only I'd realized, if only, if only, if only. The real truth is, it's not about if only. It's about it's about connection and compatibility and energy lining up. So wherever you are, this information is important to you. And it's important because even in good relationships, we can get frustrated, hurt, shut our hearts down, and are afraid to open them again. You may be holding on to unhealed past relationship wounds, have unconsciously put up walls, and are afraid to trust again. It's the number one reason when I ask people, why aren't you in a relationship again? The most common answer is, I don't want to be hurt again. But here's the thing. You're not the same person you were, and you've grown stronger. We'll talk more about trust down in the presentation. So this keeps you stuck, and it keeps your vibration low for attracting a quality partner. The information I give you today is life-changing. I know what it's like being in the dating scene. I'd like to share a little bit of my story with you. I married my high school sweetheart, and we divorced after 35 years. We just didn't know how to communicate and love each other the way we needed. We didn't know our personality couple dynamics and what each of us needed emotionally from our partner to feel loved. And I believe if we'd had that information, there might have been a different outcome. 2/3 of what couples fight about are individual personality perspective differences and are irreconcilable unless you understand each other's personalities. And then those personality traits and quirks aren't as personal. You understand that it's all part of the package of the personality. So even with the love of your life, if love is not nourished, it will die. For those of you who've gone through divorce, it can be one of the most challenging and also one of the biggest opportunities for growth. Anyone who has gone through divorce knows that you have done a lot of your processing to make your decision before you leave. And so you might feel you are ready for your next relationship just when you get out. But are you really ready? I divorced and thought, great, I'm ready for a partner. My whole social structure voted me off the island, so I needed to start a new life. And I realized that we stay friends because we have the same values and beliefs. I no longer had the same values and beliefs of my friends. They believed, well, even if you're not happy, you stay in the relationship. You stay for the kids, for the financial. I waited till my sons were finished high school. But the truth was that I felt out of integrity. I no longer loved this man that I was living with. And it was stressful for him too, because he knew I was very unhappy. He chose not to do anything about it. Even though I tried to get him into therapy or coaching, and he was just resistant to it. And so, the love died. So here I was in my mid 50s starting dating, and I met my husband at 16, married at 18. So really had no dating experience. And so I put up a profile, and it probably wasn't very positive. Maybe I still had a lot of my old story going, wondered why dates didn't go any farther. But there was a reason for me. There was an unconscious gremlin that was keeping me stuck. I had the unconscious fear of not being trapped again because I felt very trapped. I felt trapped in that traditional marriage, what everybody believed, that you don't divorce. He was a good man. We had a great life. I really felt trapped until I got strong enough to know what was good for me. So I probably was not very open. Well, I know I wasn't very open on these beginning dates, sort of, looking to see how they were going to, we all look for that. How are they going to make us better, or how are they going to fulfill all our needs? I hadn't done a lot of my self-growth work about relationships and partnerships at that point. So if you're looking for someone else to make you happy, that's not a good place to be if you're looking for a healthy relationship. So I focused on self-development and creating a great single life for me. I joined a dance community, learned about manifesting dreams and the law of attraction, and I manifested many things, including living on a beach in Mexico in the winter before I ever thought it was possible. So that's me on my beach, and that's from my condo that I rented. And, my beliefs were I'd never be able to afford that. But I found a way. Once I learned manifesting techniques, I'll talk about that a little later. I figured out a way of bringing this to life, and things came to me very quickly to make my dreams come true. That's another skill in another program. So, still single? This might be why. Sabotaging pattern number one. You need to clear the past relationship baggage. Today, I'm going to share with you how to turn around dating and going from feeling powerless to attracting people to you. We're going to be talking about how your thoughts create your emotions and your reality based on your beliefs, consciously and unconsciously. What you believe about yourself, positive or negative, will be mirrored back to you. If you are fearful and distrusting, you will attract someone with the same beliefs. If you are positive, you will attract more positive people. This is the law of attraction. Eckhart Tolle talks about we have a pain body around us, an aura that's around us. And in that is all the life events that have happened to us. And some of them might have been quite traumatic. And so if they're still in there, if we haven't healed those, we will resonate with other people who have a pain body similar to ours if we're still identifying with trauma and distrust and lack of self-esteem. That's what we're going to attract to us. There are many limiting beliefs, and it is the ones that chisel our self-confidence that are most damaging. I'm not smart enough, the enough conversation, right? I'm not smart enough, good looking enough, thin enough, young enough to be worthy of love. We can have fear of finding a partner and then losing our independence, a fear of trying many times and always ending up alone. What's the chatter in your brain about going on many different dates and not connecting? Fear of getting hurt again. This is the number one fear that holds people back. Trusting might mean that you get your heart broken again. These fears are projected outward when meeting new people and in relationships by holding yourself back, and you are showing a lack of trust. It's sort of, well, I'm not going to trust you until I know I can trust you. See, certain personalities, my personality is a two supportive personality. I trust completely in the beginning until trust is broken. If you're a 6 questioner personality, boy, you got to work hard to build trust with them. But once you do, you are cemented in. So these fears are projected outward when we're meeting new people. We communicated unconsciously outward. Do you feel your energy even going thinking about these? So unconsciously, you may have put up a reactionary walls, sabotaging your opportunities. And this can result in rejecting others before they reject you. Maybe a lot of us have done that, even though we're not conscious that we're doing that. Have very high expectations before you meet someone. Someone with very high expectations has not really done all of their inner work as well. Be unwilling to change and welcome in someone with different patterns than yours. In my vibrational attraction coaching process, we identify and release these. So here are some of the deeper unconscious ones. It might be safer to stay alone than to let someone in and possibly be left, rejected, disappointed, or getting your heart broken again. Wow. Do you feel how heavy that is? Can you feel that in your body? Or is it triggering fearful thoughts? We can be totally unaware that these unconscious beliefs can stop us from feeling confident in ourselves and stop us from being open and vulnerable, which is what attracting and creating a relationship requires. You might be resonating with some of these and feel them in your body. That is what we do. We store emotions in our body, and this causes dis-ease. That's where dis-ease comes from. These can cause you to feel insecure and hold yourself back, seek approval, attracting unhealthy relationships. When we don't have a high self-esteem or confidence, we're looking for validation in others, and we tend to be people pleasers and be seeking approval. When you're in a really healthy, conscious relationship, both people are really aware of how they get their own needs met. And then they can share them with a partner who can assist them with their growth. And we can even avoid dating altogether. Do you have a brick wall? Are you stopping yourself from dating? Here is another realization of a vow that I made that stopped me. I never realized until recently that I'd made an unconscious vow as I divorced. I will never get into another relationship where I feel trapped. Never realizing this unconscious belief kept me stuck for years in fear and distrust. Those unconscious beliefs are very powerful. That's why you need the help of a coach like me. Being single for 15 years, I too felt powerless until I learned the vibrational frequency method. I never realized I had that block up, and I needed to learn to trust myself again. What dating roadblocks might you have to being relationship ready? Well, we have negative patterns and unresolved issues that hold energy from past relationships that are keeping us stuck. You may feel you've moved on. Here's a quote from Mary Morrissey. I love this. You may feel you've moved on, but as long as they are walking through your mind, you are still in a relationship with them. And I help people do, as a hypnotherapist, I help people release some of those cords that are still holding you back, some of those thought patterns, some of those unconscious fears. I help you to release all of those. So many people start dating without identifying the real issues and clear the energy from past relationships. They're holding on to those old hurts and wounds and take those with them into the next relationship. Unconsciously, expectations are put onto their next partner to pay the price for the mistakes of that previous person and relationship. This creates blocks, walls, and trust issues for both parties. Wow, did you realize that? I had a client and he said to me, you know, I hear all about women who have these big hearts. I wonder where they are because I haven't met them. Most women I've met, I'm supposed to step up and make up for all the past mistakes in their previous relationships. Have you ever considered that, gals? That, when women tend to hold on emotions longer, right? So, are we putting that expectation onto this new person we're meeting? Or are we really open to starting over and really seeing this new person for who they are and what they can bring to us? Fear will hold you back. I know many of you are afraid of picking the wrong person and getting your heart broken again. It's difficult to trust again when you've been hurt and disappointed. Many of you in past relationships have been hurt, lost confidence in yourself, and have felt overwhelmed with how to find a partner who is a match for you. So here's what it is. Until you heal and release old experience and energy, you will drag that into your new relationships, and your hearts will stay closed and guarded. That's no way to start a new relationship and welcome in a new love into your life. Do your inner work before your next relationship. And I have releasing techniques that I use in my coaching. We're soon going to be getting into the personality part, and that's the really juicy part. So stay with me. I know that some of this is pretty heavy, but I really want you to realize the weight of the fears and the lack of trust and the lack of self-esteem and self-confidence. When you do your inner work, you will understand it is not about trusting the other person. It is about trusting yourself and learning to grow from the experiences you are having. You are not the same person you were in that relationship because pain causes us to grow. It causes us to be stronger. It causes us, we can become more resilient. And it depends on your mindset. If you stay in the victim mindset, then you're going to stay trapped in the drama and the trauma. But if you're in the positive, you can really look for the gift that was in that past relationship. So, when we meet people, we often retell our story over and over again. So be conscious that this is what happened in the past and the journey to get to where you are today. It has shaped who you are today. There are chapters that have not been written yet, and that is your future journey. The choice is yours to shape your own destiny. I want you to understand that. This is what happened to you. It's not who you are. This keeps you in low vibrational victim energy. And if you're telling the story with a victim perspective, you will push away people who've done their work, who want a more positive life, who are not interested in the victim perspective. A lot of people get trapped in that victim perspective because there's power in it. When you tell your story, people, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. They give you sympathy. That is a trap. That is an absolute trap, staying in the victim perspective. So when meeting someone for the first time, impressions are really important. And generally in the first date, the question comes up of your past. So how do you tell your story will give the impression that you are either still in the drama and trauma, or you've learned the life lessons and moved on. Keep it brief. It actually shouldn't come up in the first date, but it often does. So for instance, 7 optimists want things to be positive. 2 supporters before growth have rescue tendencies that will attract victims. 3 achievers are looking for an image of success in business and relationships. Until you see the part you played, you will continue to repeat the same patterns, and you may be hurt the same way. Your mind can keep you trapped. And I talked about this before. If only I just had done and said, that can keep you victim and powerless. That can keep you staying in old toxic patterns. Not enough, overgiving, not speaking up. So, and the need to never be vulnerable. So before dating, do your inner work. There's just a little more of this section, and then we're going to get into those juicy parts about the Enneagram personalities. So most of us are looking for a partner who fits beautifully with us and our lifestyle. Lifestyle is really an important component to consider because we can be attracted. Uh, um, there can be a real chemical attraction, but if the lifestyles don't line up, once that tempts down a bit, it can be a real challenge. So we actually are looking for partners who seamlessly complement our existing lives and routine. But this approach might miss the profound purpose of relationships. True relationships aren't about finding someone who fits perfectly into our established patterns. They're about embracing the transformative potential that comes when two people commit to growing together. Rather than avoiding the discomfort that change brings, meaningful relationships invite us to expand beyond our comfort zones and discover new dimensions of ourselves we never existed. And that's the beauty of understanding both of your couple dynamics and your personalities. I do couple readings, and in that, people really understand what are our similarities, what are our differences, what does our partner need to feel emotionally loved, and then you can start focus specifically for their personality on what their emotional needs are, what their challenges are, help them to grow, support them, be compassionate, be their cheerleader. That's a juicy relationship. I hear this all the time. This is just the way I am. You never stay fixed in the same place. You're constantly evolving. And if you're learning from experiences, you will grow. You're not the same person you were as a child or as a teenager. But a lot of people are resistant to change. This is just the way I am right now. Choosing to grow is one of the most powerful things you can do. So you have a responsibility. It is essential that you claim responsibility for your part in all the past relationships in order to refrain from being a victim. With consciousness, you have the ability to change your response. And that is what heals the past and helps you make better decisions going forward. We're going to talk about the life lessons and how to turn that around. So take responsibility for the choices you made, learn from them, forgive yourself from making those decisions. All of us have made decisions where we look back on it and go, oh my gosh, how could I have done that? But in that moment, there was a need that was being fulfilled, even though it might have been brief. So take responsible in every situation, not what has happened to you, but how you handle the situation. And until you take responsibility and figure out what happened, you will stay stuck in your story, stuck in victimhood, attracting the same energy over and over again. There are pearls in past relationships that you can use to create healthier relationships going forward. In every dating experience, even if it's one time, I learn more about myself. I'm really embracing. That's for me what makes life juicy. I don't beat up on myself anymore. I have compassion for myself. It's isn't that interesting that that's how I reacted, or that's how I was in that first date. So again, I'm going to give you as much information as I can. I have no idea how long this presentation is going to take. I just kept adding stuff. I probably could make a 10-hour presentation. So hang in there with me. And I've got a cool gift for you at the end. Because you're someone who knows that a loving partner is vital for you so you can thrive. And I'll share an easy way to take this even further to attract your ideal partner. So stay to the end. I've got a Avoid Sticky Conversation free ebook for you. I know you're here because you want to attract your ideal partner and lasting love. And by now, you know that most people just stay stuck in the same patterns, reacting the same way with the same stinking thinking beliefs and having the same experiences. It's like it's like being if you're caught in an avalanche and the snow is over top of you, you're just in the same bubble. You're in there with the same thoughts. Here's another quote from Jim Rohn. If you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep getting what you've always got. You need to break out of the thought patterns and the reactionary problems. How many times have you thought you have no room in your closets and then you rearrange and you have plenty of room? Or you get rid of stuff you no longer need? How often have you always driven the same way to work and then taken a different road and you go, oh, wow, this is one of my challenges. I attempt to find new ways. I play pickleball at 2 different places. And so if I can find a new way to get there in the same amount of time, it's like, jeepers, I never considered that. Wow, look, this might even get me here faster. With these sort of thought patterns, you open up your life. Your life becomes more interesting. Your vibrational energy goes up. That attracts more positiveness to yourself. And that's when you start manifesting. So here we go. We're getting into the juicy stuff now. A new way of dating. Figure out yourself and what you need. Before we do our inner work, we're looking for others to complete us. That's never going to work in a healthy relationship. It might work if you're both haven't done your inner work. Remember the pain body I talked about? If you attract someone to where you are now, if you start growing together, you can shift out of that pattern. So when we're dating, you might believe that you know the type of person you're looking for. You might be looking for Superman, and you might miss Clark Kent. Or you might be looking for Superwoman, and you might miss Lois Lane. What if there was a system based on scientific data that helped you understand your personality superpowers? And I have a free personality test on my website, eileenhead.com, and then I verify it for you. If your personality is verified, the information is freakishly accurate. The Enneagram gives you deep insights into 9 fundamentally different personalities with each of their own way of seeing the world, their own perspectives, ways of thinking, reacting, and behaving, and most importantly, how each type feels emotionally loved. Recognize patterns that are sabotaging you and how to change them. So it shows us the path of development to become our best selves and how to create deep, connected, loving relationships. So how your personality was formed. Your personality was formed by the age of 7, when you experienced in your family of origin that you needed to be a certain way and play a certain role to get the most love and attention. So therefore, that then created patterns that became identity. Those patterns then became a personality. And within that personality, those patterns that we developed can enhance our life, but there's challenges with them because they were created with the beliefs of a 7-year-old child. How you live your life is dictated by the beliefs and unconscious patterns of your 7-year-old self until you become more aware and change those limiting beliefs and patterns. If they're undeveloped, the world is run by a lot of 7-year-olds. So we're talking about the Enneagram personalities. It is an ancient body of wisdom that holds the key to unlocking true understanding of the depth of our being and other people in a kind and compassionate way. And when we understand the 9 personality perspectives, the patterns of our lives finally make sense. We experience profound self-acceptance, clarity of purpose, and discover how to live through positively and find lasting personal fulfillment. I looked everywhere for reasons why my marriage didn't work. We were great people. He was a kind person. He was really nice person. We had the same values, same morals. What was it that we weren't able to connect? I read stacks of self-help books. Many courses, and I just looked for answers. What was it? Why was it that we couldn't connect, where we felt business partners, where there was no emotional connection? But through the Enneagram work, we were able to transition through the divorce. We still had suppers monthly with my kids, and they never experienced the trauma and the drama because we did our work with the Enneagram. And that helped us manage ourselves better, not pull our kids into it by feeling a victim. And it really made the transition a real growing experience. And as an Enneagram teacher, I use this as the basis of my coaching because it is the fastest way to figure out for people, who am I? What do I need? What are my traits? What career would suit me the best? Which personalities are most compatible with me? How do I build a healthy, conscious, loving relationship, which is the foundation of our life? And as I mentioned, there's a 9-paragraph personality test on my website, eileenhead.com. So it is an awareness map that illuminates 9 ways of being in the world, each with their own ways of seeing the world, attitudes, ways of thinking, reacting, and behaving, emotional needs, relationship dynamics, and how to build a connection. So this is a deeply psychological system, but it's so fascinating. When I read my profile, it was like, how can this possibly be so accurate? How can it know so much about me that I didn't know about myself? What people valued in me, what my traits were that were great, and most importantly, how to become the best person I can be. What other people value in you, the personality patterns that make you attractive or not attractive within your personality type, emotional needs to feel loved. It gives you information on your partner style so that you can say to your partner, these are my needs as a partner, and can you support me in those? And then you look at their needs and you start fulfilling those. That's what builds that deep connected. Undeveloped patterns that sabotage you. And when you have awareness of the 9 different personalities, it really enriches your life and helps you build connections. How you can take your challenges and build them into strengths. We can call those quirks, and to become the best version of yourself. So this is, I'm a type 2. There are 9 levels of development when you get within the system. It sounds really complicated, but people pick this up really quickly. Like, I do personality readings that take about an hour. I give you more information than you could ever have researched in years about yourself. So it takes you from being very low level of the victim for the 2 supported, still at the mid-range, the self-important saint, of the effusive friend, nurturing, helping person, and at the very top to become altruistic and fulfill our own needs. So we're getting to the dating strategy and the juice. Thanks for hanging Thanks for hanging in with me. Now is the juicy stuff. The other part's really important though too, that you need to do the inner work for yourself. So we're going to read patterns to relate and connect, opposites, attract and enrich. You never want the same version of yourself. I would find it very difficult to be in the same personality, in a relationship that's the same personality type as me. Now, there are certain personalities that that can work fairly well, but not many. So here we go. I'm going to start with my personality. So the 2 supporter, we focus on seeing and meeting the needs of others, nurturing, warm and inviting, does things for other people without being asked, always there for you, gives lots of advice, relationship focused, can be touchy-feely, showers you with affection, and will make you feel cared for and valued. Focuses on our partner's needs. Now, as I go through these, a lot of these identifying traits are before development. So for, the two supporter, my whole focus was on other people and meeting the other needs of people. And if people asked me, well, what are my needs? I had no idea, but I could, on first meeting, intuitively sense what needs someone else might have. So the challenges of the two supporter. Others might find us intrusive with our giving. We feel that's our worth, so we give and give and give. Many have poor boundaries. We're overly responsible, unaware of our own needs, gives to the point of exhaustion at times, wants to be appreciated for our helping. So it was a real shock to me when I realized that undeveloped, that my helping could be intrusive. What? How could that be intrusive? I have great advice. I have great knowledge on what can help you. Oh boy, the 5 supporters, no thank you. The 8 asserters, yeah, no, back off. So there's different personality types that you can see that you're gonna, at an undeveloped stage, when you're trying to get your needs met with people pleasing and giving and being intrusive with the giving, that's not going to work very well in a healthy relationship. So think of John Travolta, Paula Abdul, Josh Groban, Sue Zorman, Dolly Parton, Danielle Steele, Jennifer Gardner, Stephen Buscemi, Terry Crews, Matthew Broderick, Kirsten Dunst, Kristen Bell, and Mother Teresa. When you learn the Enneagram, you will start to learn the energy of the 9 different types. So when you meet people, you may not know for sure which personality type they are, but you'll get an idea and you can respond in a much more positive way and connect a lot easier with them. Compatible. The 1 perfecter is going to be, you're beside each other on the circle, so you have common ground there. The 3 achiever, the 2 supporter doesn't need to be in the limelight. So they're often, they're the HR people in companies, the personal assistant to the CEO. They don't need the spotlight. So, a 3 achiever is a good partner. Even the 8 asserter with the nurturing and caringness of the supporter, they're a good partner with the 8 asserter because the 8 asserter takes charge and really, their feelings, they're really clear about the feelings, and the 9 peace seeker. So the 8 supporter or the 8 achiever asserter can teach the supporter how to speak up. So being helpful feels worthwhile. It gives the other person what they want. When you're dating, you may find them, they offer advice, they're open, they're caring, they're nurturing. They'll ask you a ton of questions, and unless you ask them back, they won't give you a lot of information because the focus is on you. And that can be very attractive to other personality types. They're accommodating, helpful. They really want the relationships to be about emotions and feeling. For the 2 supporter, relationships are not a part of their life, they are their life. And if their relationships are not going well, they're going to have difficulty focusing in their career. All right, so now we're going to backtrack and we're going to go to the 1 perfectors. I wanted to give you an overview. There's so much more to this, so much more, but I just want you to start getting a feeling of which personality type you might be. Maybe you've taken the personality 9-paragraph test ahead of time, so this might be really beneficial to give you more information on this. So perfectors, they focus on details to get everything right. They have high standards of fidelity, honesty, and charity. They're often calm, cool, collected, steered by strong values, are fair, keep promises, have high integrity. I'm just going to backtrack for 1 second here. For the 2 supporters, their personality formed in their family of origin. Their worth was in helping in the family, helping with kids, helping in the relationship with their parents. They were the helpers. And that's where they started this need to help. So for the one perfectors, they might have been in a family where there was a lot of criticism and judgment, and they were constantly critiqued on being right and getting everything right. And so there were rules that needed to be followed for these children, that looked out and, okay, the only way that I'm going to get love and attention and affirmation is if I get everything perfect. And so this sets up the dynamic in their personality. So the challenge is as an adult, they have the rules and they still have this judgment, and they get very irritated when others don't meet their high standards, when other people don't follow the rules. Others may see them as critical or judgmental. They learn to go with the flow. In companies, they are the detail people, and they're often at their desk long after, like the 7 optimister, who's a fun person, leaves with most of the office to go out for drinks afterwards. The one perfecter may be still there attempting to get everything right. So think of Martha Stewart, created a whole dynasty around perfectionism. And if you see her now, she's gone to her path of development, which is more like the 7 optimister. She's laid back, she's more fun, she's more easygoing. But when she was developing that dynasty, she was very, very difficult to work with her. Taylor Swift, details. Matt Damon, Morgan Freeman, Judge Judy, Meryl Streep, Kate Middleton, Michelle Obama, Natalie Portman, Sean Bean, Isaac Hempston Wright. You'll start to see the energy of people, the very, even their body language is more structured. Compatible. Oh, I didn't put in the other ones here. Sorry about that. I would have to go back and do that. The 7 optimister is they break the one perfecter out of the rigidness. The least would be the 4 expressor, because for perfectors, expressors are all about emotions. So the perfectors might find them too immersed in their emotions. Another good match would be the 8 asserter. You can message me afterwards if you're one perfecter, and I can give you more of the personality types that are more beneficial for you. So those 7 optimister, they teach you to lighten up, right? For the one perfecter, structure feels safe. Details matter. They need to know that when are we going? How are we getting home? You need to follow the proper rules of etiquette and manners. Details are really, really important. So they'll maybe ask lots of questions. Rules matter. They're continually improving, and they make great partners because they want to make the perfect message. So for perfectors, be aware that people aren't perfect, and neither are we. So go to your 7 path of development, be more fun, be more laid back, let go of the rules, go with the flow more. Ooh, I need a drink. This is only iced tea, people. Although afterwards it might be something more. So the 3 achiever. So failure is not an option for them. They focus on work, achieving, succeeding, accomplishments. They're attractive, intense, well put together, goal and success oriented. They focus on relationships until that's established, and then they shift back to career. They strive for a successful relationship, and they provide an upscale lifestyle. So the challenges are, even on first date, they may talk about their accomplishments, their work experiences. They are there to impress. They talk about their achievements. Others might find them image conscious. They set emotions aside to get the job done. They're very competitive before their development. They're very competitive. And once they have done their development, their competitiveness is with themselves and not so much with other people anymore. One of their sayings is failure is not an option. They are workaholics. difficult for others to keep up with. They can go on a vacation and be on the beach and you know, we talking about work, and I just have to take this call. One of my nieces dated a fellow who was a 3 achiever, and they go into this restaurant, and he's sorry, I got a deal going. I just got to take this call. So he's on this call, and he's on this call, and she's sitting there and waiting and waiting. So finally, she gets up, she goes out, she phones him, and he goes, "What are you phoning me for?" And she said, "Well, that's the only way I can get your attention is if I phone you on." Needless to say, that relationship did not work out. See, the self-worth for him was in achievements. And this all goes back to childhood. We want to impress our parents. And these are things we work on to become healthier. Can you still be an achiever healthy? Absolutely. Oprah Winfrey is a great, I thought Taylor Swift was a 3 achiever originally. I need to take this out there, but she is a perfecter. Tom Cruise, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was told by her mother, she said, Oprah, if you're really lucky when you grow up, you'll get a nice white family that's nice to you as you clean your house. She said, even as a child, I said to myself, I ain't going to be cleaning houses for nobody. So she went into radio. They told her you'd never get any farther than radio because you're Black and because of your weight. She said, I just kept focusing on one goal at a time, one goal at a time. And look at where she ended up. Tiger Woods, Tony Robbins, Will Smith, Bill Clinton, Jack Canfield, Jennifer Lopez, Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian. To make a couple of notes here. I need to correct. As I said, it's a new program, people, so please give me a pass on some of these. So compatible with the 3 achiever, like the detail orientation of the 1 perfecter would be good. The 2 supporter, I gave that example before. And the peace seeker, who's laid back, who's easygoing, who will support the 3 achiever. As long as there's not too much pressure on the 9 peace seeker to perform and achieve, then things will be really good. So success really gives meaning to the life for the 3 achiever. They want to be noticed. They want to be impressed. They want to be a somebody. And so they're charming and they're polished. They'll take you to the best places to go, the trendiest, the most popular restaurants. They're well together. They wear brand names. For the achiever, shut off that cell phone. Give your date all of your attention and listen at least 50% of the time and talk 50% of the time. Talk less about your achievements and find out more about your date. So here we are, the 4 expressor. Focuses on being understood, authentic, unconventional, and individualistic. They are sensitive, in touch with, and talks about their feelings. They can go deep into the depths of the pain of other people. That's their superpower. Search for deep emotional connection. They can be quite dramatic, often as teenagers, because they feel they're unique and special. This often sets them aside from other people, so they feel different, which creates the drama. They bring rich experiences to us. They help us to feel the emotion in experiences, the smell of a rose, the beauty of a sunset. The challenges for the 4 expressor is others might find them dramatic with mood swings, deep, intense emotions, feels different from others, and see themselves as unique and special. And they wear their hearts on a sleeve. So there's a dichotomy. They feel unique and special, but then they feel left out. They can often have depth and swings of emotions. Think of Garth Brooks, Johnny Depp, Angelina Jolie, Michael Jackson, Prince, Lady Gaga, Nicolas Cage. So the compatible ones for the 4 expressor are the 2 supporter, the 6 questioner, the 9 peace seeker. They are the romantics of the Enneagram. They love poetry. They love the meaning of life. They love the emotion. They may create a fantasy date for you. They make you feel unique and special. The atmosphere is important for them. Flowers, music, poetry. Remember, for the expressor, other personalities may not be in touch with their feelings and emotions yet. So be aware of your intensity when you're going out. Remember the statement, this is just who I am. This isn't necessarily who we are. It is, but it is, and um, undeveloped, we are overly strong in our traits. When we're more developed, some of these traits soften out so that we can connect with other people better. 5 contemplators. They focus on the facts, knowledge, wisdom. They're witty, entertaining, intellectually stimulating, brilliant, outstanding thinkers, minimalistic, calm, grounded, structured. They are introverted and more logical. Emotions mess up their thinking. Others can find them overly logical and emotionless. They can detach. They need privacy and solitude to clearly think about life. They replay events in their mind and then attach feelings. Sometimes feels invisible. They often don't do well in crowds. You see them standing on the outside. They'd rather observe. Being in crowds, unless they are in a stimulating intellectual conversation, they will feel crowds draining. So think of Bill Gates, Jane Goodall, Mark Zuckerberg, Stephen King, Eckhart Tolle, Agatha Christie, Elon Musk. So the one perfecter for the contemplator is really detailed as well. Knowledge, 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 data, 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 facts, facts, facts. So one perfectors that focus on the details can be very good for them. 2 supporters can be good for them because they bring in more emotion. The 6 questioner, who is also a thinking type, and the 9 peace seeker are also good. They have lots of, fives can be really, really quirky. They can have lots of facts and data and knowledge that no one else has ever thought about. They use logic to make sense of their lives. They can be witty with these obscure facts. They're minimalistic. They don't like a lot of stuff because stuff takes energy, but they will splurge if they feel that there's value on it and it's worthful. So they like meaningful conversations about facts and data and knowledge. Boy, if you are going to trivia, you want a 5 contemplator with you. A contemplator's attempt to connect attempt to connect with other people with their feelings and emotions, because they can appear quite standoffish, quite cool and collected. My son, the 4 expressor, very emotional, especially early in his dating years, married the 5 contemplator, the most logical, the least emotional, and at the time, Dax was the most emotional and the least logical. And I wondered, how on earth are those 2 going to make this work? They make it work really, really well. His wife has become more emotional and more sensitive, and he has become more logical. And, surprisingly enough, both the 4 expressor and the 5 contemplator are both introverts. And so they have a common ground there. And you can find a richness in any of these personalities. The 6 questioner. The 6 questioner often doesn't do well on first dates because they focus on assessing for assurance and safety. So they're hypervigilant. They may appear to be anxious, apprehensive, but they can also be daring. They're overly prepared for any situation, honest, fair, very loyal, dedicated, committed once trust is created. So others can find them what that appears to them to be pessimistic, glass is half full. What they say to us is, We are realistic. We don't rose-colored glasses everything. They worry a lot. They're very anxious and doubtful. People need to earn their trust. They're skeptical of authority, difficulty reaching decisions, and they often look for worst case scenarios in order to be prepared. And they do that for security. So if you're meeting them on a date, they have a witty sense of humor. They are adorable once they trust you, and they are loyal to the nth degree. So when trust is earned, if you break their trust, even though you're a family member or a close friend, if you break their trust, you may not, they may turf you from their life and you may never get back in. Trust is really, really huge. And even though they appear to be a fearful personality, they are also one of the bravest. They're the ones jumping off bridges, stand-up comedy. Look at Anderson Cooper, who is a reporter for the NBC or something. He goes into war-torn countries all the time. He needs security, but that's also his superpower. He overcomes his fear and goes in and reports. Princess Diana, Ellen DeGeneres, when you listen to her stand-up routines, it was all about fear. Kelly Ripa on Kelly and what's her husband's name now? This show. If you listen to her talk, some days I just want to stay under the bed. I don't even want to come out. And she often talks about her fears. Hugh Jackman, David Letterman, Diane Keaton, Julia Roberts, Ben Affleck, Kelly Clarkson, Tom Hanks, Jennifer Aniston. So for them, the solidness of the two, the nurturing, the caring of the two supporter is a good compatible. The four expressor is good, solid for the six questioner, and the peace seeker. So the 9 will teach the six questioner to trust in their own inner authority and to take life lessons seriously. So if you're going on a date with a 6 questioner, they will be overly prepared. They'll have a backup plan. We could do this. If that doesn't work out, then we can do this. We can do this. They are always looking out to their horizon for what can happen to be prepared. And one of my Enneagram mentors who wrote The Wisdom of the Enneagram, he said he knew a friend that was in the 9/11 tower when it went down. And the thing about 6 questioners unconsciously, if they walk into a new place, they unconsciously assess, is it safe? Where is the door to get that out? And they're just always looking for safety and security. So when that happened, that person, I think he took 2 or 3 other people with him, and he said, we need to go down this staircase in order to get out. And they did get out. So yes, they can be appear nervous and uncertain, and but when you can get around that and see around that, give them a second and third date, and just see where that goes. Great sense of humor, sharp wit when more relaxed, and great analytical skills. My youngest son is a 6 questioner, and my goodness, he is always zinging me. He has this sarcastic humor that he's fun. So the 7 optimister, they focus on the freedom to have fun and be happy. They're spontaneous, open-minded, positive, adventurous, fun, energetic, needs life to be upbeat and positive. They are the glass half full. If the 6s are the glass half empty, the 7s are the glass half full. They need a lot of stimulation, plenty of options, may take longer to commit. They like spontaneity, and there's, it's always having fun. What's the next thing? They're like, like the plate spinner. They got a plate spinning here, and okay, that looks like fun. They're spinning a plate here, and they put up another one, and they're spinning here, and then, oh, that looks good. And then the plate over here falls off because they're not paying attention to it. So they can be overstimulated and overstimulating. So the challenge is others can find them sometimes irresponsible. They're often late, sidetracked by fun things. They're addicted to excitement and variety. They like to keep their options open in case something more fun turns up. And they don't like boredom. They can be overcommitted. So think of George Clooney, Ryan Reynolds, Goldie Hawn, Freddie Mercury, Jay Leno, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Nicholson. I think Jack Nicholson's a 8, actually, but he might be a 7. Brad Pitt, Britney Spears. You start to feel the energy of them. George Clooney didn't marry till late in his life, until it was the very best option or timing for him. He was known to really enjoy the company of others. And even when he's filming productions, they say he's always playing tricks on other people. And he's fun and he's upbeat. Sevens are fun to be around, and they attract people like magnets. But if you're waiting for them to show up for a party, they may not show up. Or if they do show up, they'll have a great story of why they are late. And it really doesn't matter to them before development that they are late. So let's see. Oh, even though my phone's off, I apologize for that. My phone's off, but my alarm was going. So I want to make a point that we can find compatibility with any personalities, but it is more difficult with some than the others. So remember the 6 questioner: distrustful, glass half full, always looking for what might happen. That's my youngest son, who is married to the 7 optimister. Now, how does that work? They're the opposites of each other. Opposites attract, but they complement each other wonderfully. They met when they were 14 years old. They've been married like for 23 years. Best relationship I have ever seen in my life. Upbeat and fun. So they understand the traits of each other's personalities because they learned the Enneagram from me. So when they leave the house, my son will say, "Did we lock the front door? Do I have my wallet? Did we shut off the iron?" And she'll just smile at him and she'll say, "Yes, we did." She doesn't judge him. She understands that that pattern is still there, and it's a safety and security thing. And so once he's gone through those, he can then relax and know that everything's okay. And if should anything go wrong, you want a 6 questioner because they can jump in and solve things really quickly. They're very valued in the corporate world because they are the solution people. The 7 optimisters are the salespeople, the creators, the fun people. So you can see the different roles and careers that go with them. There's so much information I can give you. I'm only touching on these a little bit. So 7s are often high in energy, playful, upbeat. It can also be their downfall because their rose-colored glasses can get them into situations and investments and businesses where nothing will go wrong, but they're not the detail. They need the detail oriented. They need the 6s as a solution, the foundation for their business. So often 7 optimisters, they are the visionaries that see the vision, and then they need the other personality types to bring it through. So they're fun, on a date, they're fun and upbeat. It just depends on where they are in their life, whether they're serious about looking for a partner at this time in their life. So the 8 asserter, they are the tough and the tender. They focus on being powerful and strong. Strong makes an impression. They go about after what they want in a big way and with style. They are strong, powerful, and assertive. Underneath the tough exterior is a soft heart that not many people see until you're in a trusted relationship with them. They have an affinity with animals and young children. They are not touchy-feely. I have friends who say, "I don't hug," except there's one 8 asserter, big tough guy, like a big man, and had some challenges in their relationship, their 25-year relationship. Like it was over, it was broken. And he called me up and he said, I'll do anything you tell me to do. Tell me what to do. And so I did Enneagram coaching with them for 10 years. We delved, or 10 sessions. We delved deep into their personalities and we put it back together again. And so when I meet him now, he says, "You saved my marriage. You say," and he actually does hug me. He picks me up off my feet and squeezes me. So it's one of the few times. Generally, he says to people, "I don't hug. I don't like to be touched," and a lot of asserters don't. They feel they don't if it feels inauthentic. But when you're in a relationship with them, they do want to be touched. They do want the softness. They want, they know that their strong personality can overtake people and sometimes exclude people. And they don't know how to turn that around a lot of the time. So to be seen as soft and loving is really important to them. Others can find them dominating. They have a big personality. They don't like to feel vulnerable because that feels wimpy. They tell it like it is. Before growth, without monitoring the impact of directness, sometimes offends without meaning to. Tough exterior and a soft heart, especially for children and pets. So think Dr. Phil McGraw, Donald Trump, Barbara Walters, Kevin O'Leary, Simon Cowell, Gordon Ramsay, Steve Jobs. So good partners for them is the one perfecter. The two supporter is a strong, 8-2 is a strong combination uh, um, because the two is a nurturer. They are non-judgmental, they are caring and nurturing, and the 8s will look after the 2s and make sure that their needs are being met. 5 contemplator, the 9 peace seeker. So they're confident, strong, powerful. Be careful on a date that you don't overpower other people. It seems normal. Like 8s will say, I just walk into a room, and other people will tell me I suck the whole energy out of the room. So it's about breathing yourself down, um, grounding yourself, feeling the energy of the other person and meeting their energy in the middle. So maybe their energy will come up to meet yours a bit. If you can tamp yours down a bit, that's not changing who you are. That is actually being conscious of awareness of your traits and when to use them and how to use them in a way that's very life enhancing. Dr. Phil McGraw he has done more for the image of a strong, healthy relationship man. People have gone on to his show and wanted to take control, and he goes, no, 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 no. This is my show. You came here asking me for advice. I'm going to give that to you. You can do whatever you like with it, but while you're here, this is the way it's going to go. And so, can't we learn from me? The purpose of the Enneagram is to learn the trait. We have all nine personalities within us. We just focus our attention and have our ego focused a certain way. But it gives us ways of seeing how other people do the world. And sometimes, if I'm as a 2 supporter, if I'm coming up against or coming up and I need strength in whatever it is, I'll look at the traits of the 8 asserter and I'll deliver things not as direct as the 8 asserter, but in a softer way of the 2 supporter. Confident, strong, big presence, lives life large, lustful appetite for all life has to offer. They see emotions as weak, and they see, so as a child, they felt taken advantage of as a child. There was someone stronger, and they didn't like feeling vulnerable. If they see someone being taken advantage of, they will go over the cliff for them. They're very protective of how they see other people who they see as unable to stand up for themselves or look after themselves. And the 9 peace seekers. They focus on harmony, avoiding conflict. They're pleasant, friendly, warm, sweet, nice, comforting, calm presence, accepting, non-judgmental, makes others feel safe, comfortable, centered, see all sides of the situation from everyone's perspective. They're really good listeners. They don't have a lot of needs. They'll listen to you forever. Um, they worship at the altar of harmony, and they avoid conflict at all costs. What they don't realize is by attempting to avoid conflict, they create conflict around them. Others can find them indecisive, difficulty identifying with their own priorities. Procrastination is an issue with them. They can get sidetracked. They may find change difficult. Um, they don't pay attention to their own agenda and their own needs. They're often people pleasers. So Kevin Costner, Sandra Bullock, Renee Zellweger, Morgan Freeman, President Obama, Keanu Reeves, President and the Dalai Lama. President Obama was seen as the white knight that was going to bring the United States to peace. He was more about talking to people, working out a resolution. So for the 9P seeker, 2 supporters, 3 achievers, I gave you that dynamic before, 4 expressors, 6 questioner. They merge with other people. They go along to get along. Friendly, likable, easygoing. See, there's currency in everything. They are so nice that it's hard to hold them accountable. It's hard to hold them accountable when they have been indecisive, when they have procrastinated, because they're just so nice. But that is part of the challenges and the lack of development before personality. They want peace and harmony, no pressure. If you pressure the 9 too much in a dating situation, they will shut down. So do it gently. Keep their energy is pretty flat, pretty even keel. So if you're coming in as an 8 asserter with this big energy, you may shut down the 9P seeker. Although an 8 asserter man really does like the peace seeker partner, because they can balance each other out. Whew, that was a lot. There's so much I can teach you. The Enneagram is a phenomenal model that can very, very quickly enhance your self-esteem, your self-growth, um, assist you with the challenges of your personality. You know, for me as a 2 supporter, not used to talking this much. When I gave up the rescuing of other people and the need to please and the wanting to help victims, I wanted victims to grow more than the victims wanted to grow. And I was really in that ball of yarn of wanting to, rescue people because it felt good to give them information and, I could see a better life for them. But it wasn't life enhancing. And so when I go to help people now, I'm very careful. There's a couple rules that I follow. And first of all, I ask permission. Are you open to some insights? And most everybody's curious, so they'll say yes to me, which is awesome. And I'll say, have you noticed or are you aware that this is possibly what might be going on for you? And this might help you if you choose to do this. And then I let go of outcome. They can pick that up or not. That's very different. When I was giving advice before, I really wanted people to pick up that advice up, because I was invested in the outcome. I had a need to be needed. So now it's so freeing. Oh, I don't need to help people. I have much more time for my own endeavors. That's what the path of development is about, and the growth within each personality type. It shows you exactly. So personalities are patterns of behavior. Here's the thing. When you recognize the pattern, you will be able to understand the person and be able to relate and connect with them much easier. I wanted to make another point. when you are doing inner work, when you're doing shadow self, which is the challenges of your personality, when you are doing this work with the Enneagram, you must be compassionate. You must be kind. You must be patient with yourself. It's so important as you're doing the work so that you can grow. You never grow if you're judging yourself, if you are not compassionate with yourself. So here's what to look for in a partner. So we're going into the third section now, and that is using this information. You're clearing the baggage, you're understanding your personality, you're looking for more compatible partners. When I do customized coaching, I go more in depth for you into the compatibility for you. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who's compatible with your fundamental values and beliefs. The values for your strengths and gifts you bring to our relationships. They support you to grow and become your best self. Very similar lifestyles. You know, lifestyle is really important. When you're in your 20s and 30s, you're just focusing on chemistry and you know, getting dating experience. You may get into relationships, you may have children, you may have divorces, but then in your 40s and 50s, you're relying more on your career. You may have kids and divorces, but life becomes more serious because if there is divorces, there has to be a you know, a splitting of assets. There's co-parenting, there's all sorts of things. And then in my life age group, the 60 plus, it's a lot different. There's a lot more at stake. We're looking to fill our bucket list, things that we haven't gotten in previous relationships. We are looking for compatible lifestyles is really, really important. And so that's important to be aware of. But here's the thing. You are in charge of your destiny and journey. It is you who chooses your life experience. So I'm going to talk about compatibility. What is the definition? It is much more than just getting along with your significant other. It is knowing that they recognize who you are at your core, your gifts, your fears, your desires, your emotional needs, your triggers, and you feel they really get you with all your quirks. You can resolve your issues so much quicker when you are triggered within your personality. For the two supporter, we give and we give and we give. We want to feel appreciated for what we give. So triggers can be when we're ignored. But here's the thing, we set it up like that. Oh yeah, I don't really need anything. I don't really have any needs. I know what your needs are. We set it up, and then we are disappointed or upset in a relationship when we're not getting any of that back. So we need to teach other people and ourselves about what is important for us. The Enneagram feels so accurate in predicting. I'm just looking at him. Compatibility, because it dives deep into why we behave the way we do, not just what we do. It maps up core motivations, fears, emotional patterns, how we relate to other people. It is eerily spot on when describing relationship dynamics, such as communication styles, emotional needs, and conflict solutions. There's Enneagram in business, the type of leader you are for each of your personality types, the type of personality you are, conflict resolution between each of the personalities, words to use, words not to use, so much more. It identifies how each of us thinks, feels, and reacts. So it's not about finding the perfect match, but it's recognizing how your partner patterns interact and where you naturally harmonize or where friction can arise. You need shared values, life experience, and mutual support. So I'm going to give you insights to shift your mindset dating strategy to help you identify your repeating patterns of who you have been attracting. So, you know, you hear the saying, I keep attracting the same guy or woman in the same pants over and over again. Why is that? Here's what I know. The common denominator is you. Ouch. I'm the common denominator in all of my relationships. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. just that you have been unaware of what you're doing and the patterns you keep repeating. And the great news is, with more consciousness, you can consciously change thoughts, patterns, heal old beliefs, and change your perspective. You will become more positive, and that is attractive to others. People say to me all the time, "You have such great energy." Why is that? Because I have released all the old baggage. I live on a high vibrational frequency. I'm more positive. That's how I live my life. And amazingly, I attract great things to me. Most people believe this is just the way it is and that they are powerless to change their lives. They're stuck in the stinking thinking. So you need to believe. They never take advantage of opportunities to become aware and more conscious of how they're creating their life, change their life by their thinking, and open their hearts to trust and love again. You must believe that it is possible and that you have the power to do so. Life really is creating an aware and positive mindset. So many of my clients come to the healthy conclusion. One of my clients said to me, before I get into another relationship, I need to figure myself out and what I'm doing. He is now in a solid, loving relationship, married, happy, not just happy, but with a healthy relationship. When you do that, everything shifts and you can create your best life. So here's another saying of one of my clients. I would much rather know what it is that I'm doing than to continue doing what doesn't work. Right? So important. And when it's right there in front of you with facts and scientific data, it's like, oh, wow, I had no idea this is what was going on. Clarity attracts the ideal partner. So chemistry on the first meeting can be significant, but its importance depends on context and what you're looking for in a relationship. Why first meeting chemistry matters? Well, it creates comfort and ease and connection, creates excitement and motivation to see each other again, often indicates compatible communication styles and humor, can signal physical attraction and emotional connection. And I've gone through the 9 personalities. Certain personalities, the 2 supporter and the 8 achiever, the 2 supporter and the 7 optimister, the 2 supporter and the 6 questioner. Those can have immediate connection. Why chemistry is not everything? Some people are naturally shy or take time to warm up. Nerves can mask someone's true personality on first meeting. Deeper compatibility around values, goals, and life approach matters more long term. Chemistry can develop over time as you get to know someone. So that's why in the 30s and 40s, there's lots of divorces in that age group because different lifestyles, different values, career goals, life goals. The importance of chemistry is different for different personality types. Clarity is important and can be restrictive. Dating means taking risks. It's trial and error. It's disappointment, rejection, and then hopefully triumph. Having clarity about what you want isn't materialistic at all. It's actually quite healthy and can save you and others a lot of time and heartache. Being overly rigid can cause you to miss great people who don't fit your exact template. Some of the most important qualities, like they handle stress or conflict, only emerge over time. Sadly, we're taught to make this list of exactly what we want, but a lot of those qualities are not very life enhancing. They are more about the numbers, height, weight, age, income. Those are mostly materialistic things. Your list should focus more on values, character traits, relationship dynamics, rather than superficial details. So what's being worth clear about? Core values, life direction, relationship goals, communication style, deal breakers. Do you set up a list of your non-negotiables? That's really, really important to have a few non-negotiables. Those are something that I ask on my first date. What's worth staying flexible on? Career paths, hobbies, physical preferences, timeline expectations. Use it more as a compass. So what is it you really should be looking for? You should be looking for someone who really gets you with your vulnerabilities and your imperfections and your quirks, values the qualities you bring as a partner, feels safe without judgment or rejection, responds to emotional needs, can trust with our deepest thoughts and fears. We're looking for similar lifestyles, ways of dealing with life challenges, helps us to grow, and enjoy spending time together. Some of our most challenging relationships have been one of our best growth opportunities. Expectations. There are dynamics with different perspectives and goals. Life can be messy with past entanglements, especially if unresolved and incomplete. So partnering with someone will be much easier if you go into it with a realistic attitude that new relationships will most likely have complications. The older you are, the more complications there might be. You'll be more successful when you're clear on your dating goals, your partner specifics for yourself and for other partners. Clearing past baggage. Why is that there? That was an error. I'm a catch. I see a lot of young girls. Well, you know what? They get all of this, so they better step up to the plate. Sadly, a lot of young people get roped into this. If you're not ready to welcome in a partner who you see has equal value for you, stop. Do some work on yourself. You know you're ready when you believe they have as much to offer as you them. You're willing to treat them as equal partners. You realize that you both have lots to learn in order to grow. So here's a big one. Everything you are looking for in a partner, you must first develop those traits. You must become the person you are looking for. So focus on that. The 80-20 rule. Many people, you're never going to get 100%. So look at the 80% and don't fixate about the 20%. That can be dissatisfaction, the grass is greener. No one will ever be 100% perfect for you, nor should they be 100%. You need to ask this question: will they be a good partner for me? And most importantly, the opposite is also true. Will I be a good partner for them? I've met so many people who partner with someone who's so totally different with them. Remember my 6-questioner son, worst case scenario, to his wife, the 7 optimist, or rose-colored glasses, everything will work out. Are you open? You need to be, okay. Here's what I know. We can initially be attracted to looks, chemistry, and attraction. Those are important. You're looking for a partner who is compatible and fits with you, your values, your beliefs, your morals, your lifestyle. Be clear on your criteria. You're looking for, what we're looking for is not necessarily personality traits. We're looking for a partner who's going to give us the life experience and feelings that we've been yearning for. So for the 6, is a partner going to give them the safety and security? For the 7, is their partner going to give them enough leeway for a lot of fun? For the 1 perfecter, is their partner going to value their rules and their organization skills and their data? For the 2 supporter, are their partner going to value them for their nurturing and caring and feelings and emotions. For the 3 achiever, is their partner going to value them for the lifestyle they develop and for looking after them and having a successful life and an upscale life and when with more growth when they get into their feelings and emotions, that's success for them as well. For the 4 expressor, are they going to have a partner who understands their emotions are going to erupt, but once the emotions erupt, then they can level out again. The challenge is a lot of people don't know what to do with those emotions after they've erupted, and so that's where you can use some guidance. The 5 is their partner going to value them for being very logical and look at data and minimalistic life. For the 8 asserter, are we going to value them for being protective and strong and having a soft marshmallow heart under that armor they exposed? And are we going to value the 9 peace seeker for their peacefulness, their harmony, for their even keel? That's what you need to focus on, what it is you're really looking for. So dating rules: set the intention, be open-minded. First impressions are so important in the first few minutes. Take pride in your appearance. Make sure before you walk in to see if you're open. Is your heart closed? Do you have the wall up? Are you going to go in with distrust? This is something I've just become aware of myself, that going in, I'm really conscious of opening up myself. And that seemed to have worked well recently. Make date plans for somewhere you feel comfortable, or agree to somewhere where you'll be comfortable. The dating experience can be daunting, so cut through those nerves by creating dating familiar territory, somewhere that you feel comfortable. Even if the offer is to pick you up first, say you'll meet them there. There's lots of dating rules. I have Date Smarter, an ebook. I also have the dating guide to 9 personalities. Be confident. Be confident as you can be in who you are. Confidence is sexy. Confidence is, you don't have to be inauthentic, but know what your gifts are. Know yourself as a personality. Know even the challenges within your personality can give you confidence. You can watch yourself and monitor yourself in that date. Don't do all the talking. The 50-50. Ask questions, listen. It's like a ball bouncing back and forth, right? Throw the ball to them. Let the ball come back. Catch the ball. Throw the ball back to them. First impressions, we already talked about. Keep the conversation fun. Avoid the X conversation. Turn off your phone. Set up first dates. The bill can be tricky. I'm not going to go into that right now. That's covered in some of my guides. Be honest. Follow up correctly. Manage your expectations. Expectations are when we feel the other person haven't measured up. And we go in with this list. Be forgiving. Not all of us have a good first impression. Give the person maybe a first date, a second date. It's fundamentally, dating is fundamentally a matching process. It's not a judgment of your worth. Someone not choosing you doesn't diminish your value any more than you not choosing someone diminishes theirs. It's not necessarily about you. Don't make it all about you. It's only about you if you make it about you. Focus on what you learned. Every dating experience teaches you something about what you want, what works for you, or what red flags to watch for. Even disappointing dates contributed to your dating wisdom. Let go of outcome. I find it entertaining. It's like, oh my goodness, what did I learn on that one? Oh, I learned that, it can be almost anything. I can learn that I can understand that I might not be picked because the other person might not be ready, or my personality might be too strong for them, or they're not as confident as there's so many dynamics. So it's really important that we not personalize it. So manage yourself after the date. How to manage disappointment when we're ghosted or not chosen. It may feel like a great date, and then it might feel like a punch to the gut. That mix of confusion, rejection, disappointment, that's all completely normal. The sting usually comes from the uncertainty and the stories that our mind creates. So when someone disappears without explanation, we tend to fill in the blanks with self-criticism. What did I do wrong? I must not be good enough. But the reality is, ghosting often says more about the other person, their emotional style, their communication style, their availability, their life experiences. Maybe they're just not ready yet and they just discovered that. What is most important is how you emotionally handle this. Is it rejection or is it an opportunity for growth? What valuable lessons did you learn? Everyone is an opportunity. Assess your dating skills. Did you come on too strong? Did I appear too needy? Important not to beat up on yourself. So the other part of my coaching is personal and spiritual growth to live your best life. I'm just going to touch on this very briefly. There are life lessons in everything in life, and we grow from that if we are conscious of it. The choices I have made today, if I don't make choices, sometimes life makes choices for me. Consciousness plus choice equals outcome. If we are experiencing challenges, generally it comes softly first, and if we don't see it, it comes again, a little harder, comes again, a little harder. What is it that I need to learn from this? You look at the experience that you're feeling pain in or challenge in, or you're going into your inner self and beating yourself up. Shift that. What can I learn about this? What didn't I know? Compassion maybe for the other person, for being a jerk, for being, a not nice gal, whatever. What is the lesson? Why did that come to me? I'm really proud that I handled that difficult situation that way. I'm really proud of myself that this time I spoke up, that I had a voice. In situations previous to that, I didn't have a voice. I gave myself away. Maybe I didn't know how to say no properly. Maybe I felt overwhelmed and taken advantage of. Well, no one can take advantage of you. We volunteer for that. So if you look at that, yeah, do I feel taken advantage of, or do I see this as an opportunity to say to myself, next time I'm going to speak up. I'm not going to allow that to happen. That's what life's about. That's what spiritual growth is about. C plus D equals O. Choice plus decisions equals outcome. I want to talk about mistakes. People, when they're judging themselves, will often look at, oh, that was such a mistake. How could I have done that? It's not a mistake, it's a mistake. I worked for a film production company, and they kept filming and refilming and kept doing retakes till they got it right. That's what life and life lessons and the journey is about. It's about mistakes. Be kind. Be compassionate about yourself. Isn't that interesting? I never knew that about myself. Wow, how I reacted that way. I understand why I reacted that way. And so live your best life. I teach the law of attraction and manifesting dreams. I was selling my house, and it was an older house. I'm not going to go into the whole story of this. I'm going to cut it really short. But I was looking for a new place. This was on my vision board. My realtor asked, how much do you want to list it for? I told him, and realtors had told me, I'm only going to get land value No one is going to pay me past this price. He asked me. I told him I wanted to list it for 65,000 over land value. Said, you'll never get it. I'll list it. I got it for 45,000 over land value in 3 weeks in a repressed market. And then when I was looking for my new house, this was on my vision board, adult unit, end unit, walkout basement, in a price I could afford. This is the house I bought to the tree out front. This stuff works. I play pickleball, and a lot of my people in the fall were going south. They have homes in the south or they vacation. And I thought, gee, I'd really like to go somewhere, but I don't have a lot of money. Italy and Croatia was on my bucket list. It was also on my vision board. And a friend in the pickleball community said, hey, you know what? We're getting 10 people together. I'm renting this big villa in Italy, and let's all go and have fun. This is what came about in a price I could afford. I wanted to go to Mexico, and a friend of a friend phoned me up and said, I hear you want to go. I will rent my condo to you for $100 Canadian per person per week for 2 weeks. These things just come to me automatically. I now have figured out a way to live on a beach in Mexico for 6 months of the year on not a large income. I don't have a large income. I know how to make it happen. I talked to you about resonating vibrations naturally drawn together through the law of attraction. Like attracts life. We are like magnets to ourselves. By aligning your vibration with the feeling essence of what you desire in a love relationship, you will attract someone who reflects and enhances the very highest aspects of yourself. So here's a little, if you are living in positivity, creating contentment, working on positive beliefs and optimism and enthusiasm and passion and love, you will attract the things that I've showed. Well, that's how I've attracted the things that I have, because I have did the personal growth to be on the upward spiral. When I spiral down through frustration or pessimism or doubt or worry or any of these, boom, negative things start happening to me, and I have to take myself in hand, like, oh my gosh, get myself back on track to keep that high vibration. I have done courses on manifesting vibrational attraction. So do your inner work. The life is as you have designed it. Right now, your life is how you created it. The outcome will be from the decisions and choices you have made or not made. Testimonials. I had a client I was working with, Fleur, and was teaching the vibrational attraction process. And part of the process was doing a meditation about checking in with her heart. Is it open? What was the message for her? And Fleur was shocked to realize that her heart really wasn't all that open. The message was, before the session, she felt very judgmental and a bit aggressive. She realized she pushes people away before giving them a chance. That's that old thing that we do, that I'm going to push you away before you reject me, and we put up walls, and all of this stuff is unconscious, right? Can you relate? I can, because I did that too. So the night after the session, Fleur went on a date, and she was more conscious of how open or closed she was. She felt more at ease. She let go of outcome. Those were things I was teaching in the course. And she let go of whether it would be a second date or not. But she felt so different on this date. And she became aware that opening her heart before dates made her ready for a loving relationship. The good news is she is now in a very happy relationship and has moved her business, and she is flourishing. You can see the full interview on my website under Vibrational Attraction Coaching. And here's another testimonial. I was inspired to live your best life, manifest your dreams program, as I have felt stuck, hopeless, small, useless, and invisible for most of my life. This is Natalie. She said, I seem to start getting ahead in life, and then bam, something else happens, knocks me down and out again and again. I am needing a change and to figure out what was going wrong. Overall, I would say the Live Your Best Life program has left me questioning my usual practices. As I have realized, I've sadly been in victim mode, and my self-talk, though I thought I had improved since years of therapy, was damaging and keeping me in a nasty repeating pattern. It was hard to admit that I was in victim mode. It's hard for us to see that until we can learn what is victim mode. And in this Live Your Best Life Manifesting Your Dream, we talk about the words we use and the thoughts we have and shifting mindset and all of that. She said it was hard to admit, and the shame was huge. Natalie struggled in her family of origin and feeling less than and not enough, and even getting along with her family for years and years. The program exceeded my expectations, and I had an epiphany that is leading to actual change and improvement. Her testimonial is quite long. Her insight is um, it was a real revelation for her, and she completely did a shift in her life. She's now in a happy relationship. She moved out of Calgary to a smaller town, which she'd always wanted. Her career is flourishing. All of that can happen when you do your inner growth in your the work you need to create the life you desire. So I have some resources for you. Singles hire me to help them attract the love of their life and identify their unique relationship gifts, because they can sabotage possibilities, feel insecure, and be unclear of their ideal mate. I help them identify what makes them a good partner, avoid dating mistakes, and become more confident to date smarter, so that they can attract the love of their life and create lasting love. For that to happen, you must take action. So I have some resources for you. With all my trainings, it has made my life so different. I am very, very confident now when there's even a conflict or someone's upset with me. My confidence is so strong that I don't need to make it about me. I just respond to them. I can see you're upset. What is it that I can do to make it better? And we can talk and resolve things. But on a live your best life level, my life has no drama. I am very calm. I'm able to manifest because I'm on a higher vibration. These courses that I took and these trainings have been life-changing for me, and I want them to be the same for you. Now, maybe eventually you could put all the pieces that we talked about in this mini training together and start the process on your own. That's one option for you. But if you want to stop feeling that you will be alone for the rest of your life, and you want to attract your ideal partner in the fastest possible way while saving time and money, I'm going to make it easy for you. There are many different modalities that I use in my coaching. My clients have been highly successful in creating their own life plan. You heard from Natalie and Fleur and many others, testimonials on my website, eileenhead.com. So you need to take action, and you need new information, because otherwise we're just going around on a squirrel wheel, processing through the same reactions, the same perspective as we've always had, and then getting the same results that we've always had. So are you willing to invest in the most important part of your life? I find it so very interesting that the mindset is you invest money in college, university, learning a special trade, and all of that is very smart. Of course you need that. You do that so you get a better paying job. But why don't you also invest in the most important part of your life, your relationships and your own self-worth and growth? So in my customized coaching program, I will guide you to release unconscious patterns those past experiences that are like gremlins running in the background, creating walls and trust issues. We're going to unlock your personality superpowers. You cannot even imagine how much information you can get from learning your own personality. Figure out what makes you attractive, what makes you tick, understanding others, recognizing others and their patterns. Attract versus sabotage. Learn which of your traits are magnetic to the right partner and which ones might be working against you. Build your authentic confidence. Discover what genuinely makes you an incredible partner. And it might not be what you think. And then use the vibrational attraction process to attract your ideal mate and much more. In this coaching package, I'm going to tell you about the package first. So the choice is yours. Option 1, continue doing what you've always done, hoping to get different results will magically appear. Not likely. Option 2, invest in yourself in this proven process that has helped countless others find their person. Your love story is waiting. Every day you wait is another day your ideal partner is out there, also searching, also hoping, also wondering when they'll find someone that truly gets them. That someone might be you. So you ready to stop waiting and start attracting? I'm super excited for you. So when you do your Enneagram inner work, you can figure out, at work, your relationships. I had a client come to me who was having difficulty with his boss, and he's a 7 optimister. And so he likes to have fun. So he was poking fun at his boss, who was an 8 asserter, a challenger personality. Yeah, that wasn't going over well. And he just didn't get that because other people love his jokes, right? So when I gave him some insights and some scripts and your boss wants you to respect them. I mean, he said, I thought I was going to get fired, but he says, and now we're the best buddies. It really can be that quick and that simple. Your couple dynamics, if you're going through divorce, your siblings, family of origin, and being single. So spirituality, energy, healing, and transformation. I also use spirituality in my coaching to give you the meaning of life. Everything happens for a reason. There are no accidents. Lots of my coaching is based on learning life lessons. It makes life so much juicier. I help you to discover your true self, align with your purpose, and improve your overall well-being. So we delve deeper into the meaning of life, making sense of those challenges, understanding and growing through life lessons, and unlock the transformative power of energy healing. I use my unique gift of intuition in this enlightening exploration of energetic healing. A lot of people will say, gosh, how did you know that? That's so accurate. It just comes to me when I'm coaching. I have a very special offer for you to live your best life. You won't find a program like this anywhere else because it's going to be customized specifically for you. I know what it's like to feel hopeless and powerless in my life, in my dating life, and on my overall life, just not to have the answers and keep going around with the same information I've always had. And that's why I'm so passionate about coaching and what it is I do. This is a passion project for me. So here's my offer. This is the first of my offer. You won't find a program, as I mentioned, anywhere else. I believe 6 sessions is a good start. And any other coaches or therapists with my certifications and my experience would be charging $250 an hour, $1,500. But I want to give you a better offer. I want to offer you 6 sessions at $150, $900 for a savings of $600. That's a good foundation for firing the law of attraction and manifesting your dreams. But because you were on this masterclass, I'm going to offer you a super special offer. It expires in 2 days after you sign up. $111 a session for 6 sessions is $666. That is not much of an investment for a life-changing program that shifts your mind, that opens your mind to possibilities, that opens you up to understanding yourself at a very deep level through your Enneagram and the possibilities of growth through the Enneagram, which shows you exactly what patterns sabotage you and how to shift those into gifts, takes your challenges and builds them into strengths. This is a program that's going to help you figure out what makes you and others tick. It's going to raise your vibration so that you can manifest your dreams. A savings of $834. What do angel numbers of 666 mean? They mean balance, harmony, and focusing on what really matters. And I do have a payment plan available, and we can chat about that. So what is it you're making a priority in your life? A lot of people are making nails and shoes and tattoos and golf equipments. While these short term make you happy, they will not give you the tools for happiness and inner growth to live your best life and manifest your dreams. And in order to do that, you need a clear intention, clarity of vision, consistent action. You must invest in yourself and your growth. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaches and programs, and it's worth every penny. Living 6 months on a beach in Mexico when I never ever thought that would be possible on a limited income, it's possible. Many things are possible when you start to learn the manifesting and to grow yourself to be the best person you can be. So I want you to hop on a call with me. I'm going to use a follow-up email. I'm going to give you all this information. Let's book a free 15-minute session. I'll give you advice based specifically for your personality of a current situation you're struggling with. And I will outline a customized program specifically for you. I will assist you. If you really want this, I will work with you to make that happen. So I'm excited to share the Sticky Conversation Guide. There's scripts for sticky conversations. How do you handle who pays on the first date? How do you tell them you are not a match? When to have sex? And many other things. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. That is your gift. So here's how it's going to work. Send me an email to Eileen@eileenhead.com with a subject line, Claim My Sticky Conversation ebook. Actually, I might even include that in the email that I'm going to send you. And remember to take the Enneagram test. It is freakishly accurate on information about yourself. I couldn't believe it when I read my profile. It was the biggest aha moment of my life. My website is eileenhead.com. Thank you very much. I wanted to give you as much information as I could. I probably could have made about 3 or 4 of these, but I have lots to share with you. And just like Fleur and Natalie, they took some of my coaching programs, and boom, their life is so different now. It gives me such joy to see them posting with happiness. So thank you for being on. If you have any questions, please contact me.